watching the Sci-Fi Channel. Today on The Trader, TV you can really sink your teeth into with Angelique herself, Dark Shadows' Lara Parker.
She was able to make everyone suffer. She was a very bitchy lady, and whenever she appeared, everyone knew that something terrible was about to happen.
And we'll look back on Star Trek, the animated series, with writer-producer D.C. Fontana.
It was really a drama show only done as an animated cartoon. That may have been its drawback, but it also went over very well with the fans. They loved the fact that we didn't compromise. We did Star Trek.
All this and more on today's episode of The Sci-Fi Trader. The noted English author Alfred North Whitehead once observed that without adventure, civilization is in full decay. Hi, I'm Warren James, and welcome to The Trader. Here, we never lack for adventure, because we delve into the worlds of fantasy and science fiction. And in today's episode, we'll meet Lara Parker, Angelique from Dark Shadows, and the legendary D.C. Fontana, the only person who's written for all of the television versions of Star Trek. And both of our guests are associated with great products we're offering today, like the wonderful Dark Shadows merchandise and some amazing animation art from Star Trek. Now, Lara Parker, Angelique on Dark Shadows, was the woman that everyone loved to hate. Whether a witch or a vampire, she made all the men in the audience anxious to be her next victim, and all the women envious. Recently, she dropped by The Trader to talk about Dark Shadows. Let's watch a bit of that conversation now. Lara, I'm really glad you could join us today so we could talk about Dark Shadows and your role as Angelique in that series.
I'm happy to be here.
As Angelique, you played both a witch and a vampire.
That's right.
How did the audience react to that? How did you react to the different characters?
Well, I think Angelique was one of the audience's favorite characters because she was able to make everyone suffer. She was a very bitchy lady, and whenever she appeared, everyone knew that something terrible was about to happen. But the vampire was fun, too, because I was always envious of all the people who got to bite other people. So that was my chance to have my own set of teeth.
Your chance to get your own.
Yes, and to stalk people and to have those wonderful, emotionally romantic scenes.
There are a lot of different ways people play vampires. How did you see Angelique as a vampire?
Well, she was suffering a lot when she was a vampire because she had been punished by Nicholas, who was the sort of the resident devil. And it's very difficult to be a vampire. You can't walk around during the day, and you can't have a normal life, and you live off of other people's blood. So it was... But it was a lot of fun to play the scenes. And I finally got to nail Barnabas, so that's one of the best parts. In fact, I think I said to him, I love seeing that expression on your face, cold fear.
Get away from me. There you go.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about cold fear. You did this show live on tape.
That's right.
With lots of special effects, which meant it was fraught with the opportunity for problems. What were some of the misadventures?
Mike's coming into the picture and prop men walking across the set.
What were some of the others with some of the special effects you had?
Well, we did tons of special effects. We had a lot of superimposed camera, dream sequences with wonderful filmy colors, and for instance when the werewolf, when the actor turned into the werewolf, we had another character with the werewolf makeup, and they would be superimposed, and they'd slowly take out the character and bring in the werewolf, and of course the noses wouldn't exactly match. And when I can remember, well, whenever you were a vampire and you had to suddenly have teeth, yes. the teeth, you'd have the teeth in your hand, and in fact, I even did this on the Carson show. You would say to the person, come to me, I need you. And then the camera would go to the other person who's going, oh no. And while the camera's on them, I go, putting in your teeth, and then the camera comes back to you and you go, so it was always, or if you get shot, you know, the person would fire, you'd go, no, 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 and the person would fire the gun, and you'd go, and you'd hold out your hand, they put a sponge with blood in it in your hand, you'd go, like that, you know, it was that kind of special effect, I mean, really quick.
Live television is always an adventure.
It was a lot of fun.
You know, it's interesting, women are very attracted to vampires. It seems like vampire stories are more attractive to women than to men. Why is that?
Well, I think that the vampire is a very sexy person, and I think that vampirism is basically sexual. I mean, there's the longing and the hunger and the kind of culmination, and then after the woman is bitten, she is devoted to the vampire, and she can't bear to leave him, and all that. It's very romantic, really.
Romantic.
And very sexual.
Very romantic with an edge.
Yes. Very kinky.
Indeed. Lara, thanks for joining us to talk about Dark Shadows.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be here.
We've always got our eyes open for great merchandise from Dark Shadows because we know that show has a lot of fans. Now here's Darla and Jim to tell you about what we've dug up this week.
The Trader brings you an exclusive Dark Shadows holiday package with a Dark Shadows teleplay and a Dark Shadows calendar for only $39.95. Plus, you get a Dark Shadows t-shirt featuring Jonathan Frid as Barnabas, absolutely free. The Dark Shadows teleplay is signed by Lara Parker and features the pivotal episode where Angelique returns as a vampire to accost Barnabas. The Dark Shadows calendar features exciting production stills and portraits of all your favorite Dark Shadows characters and haunts. And it, too, was signed by Lara Parker.
You know, Darla, I used to run home from school every day to catch Dark Shadows. So it's my pleasure that as a special holiday bonus, we're giving away this Dark Shadows t-shirt featuring Jonathan Frid as Barnabas. This 100% cotton beefy tee makes a great everyday shirt or night shirt for the Dark Shadows fan. The exclusive Dark Shadows package of the autographed teleplay and the autographed calendar together are yours for just $39.95. And this deliciously Dark Shadows t-shirt is our way of saying happy holidays from the Trader. Call 1-800-SCI-FI-60 for this fantastic gift idea. Warren?
Up next, DC Fontana and I look back at the Emmy Award-winning animated Star Trek series.